Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, August 15th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very, I can't even get it out. Our very first special guest joining me, Fashion Dolls, has been on the show previously, and I'm super excited to have him back on so that we can catch up and see what he's been up to. Joining me, ladies and gentlemen, we have Levi the Great, and then we're going to get into some girl chat with Brenda Chanel. You guys know her from the hit show on YouTube. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. Pandora's Box. She will be joining me, and we're going to have some girl talk. It's been a minute since we had a girl talk. So let me add my first guest, Levi. Please forgive me, you guys. You guys know I had to upload today's fit to Pinterest and get the photos up. So let's do it. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Trying to keep cool over here. How are
I'm
you?
great.
Please forgive my tardiness.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So glad to have you here. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has. It's been a while. A lot has happened.
Yes, and we got to catch up. Then we want to do it in this brief amount of time. We had a time situation where we had to get it together, ladies and gentlemen. But welcome if you're just coming in. It feels good to be back first off because I haven't did any shows for this past few week this week here. I didn't do a show yesterday. Monday I was off, but it feels good to be back the rest of the week, kicking it off with Levi. And then the next show we're gonna have is Brenda Chanel. She's gonna be joining us. So make sure you guys tune in at 4 for that. But it feels great to be back. So what has happened since we last spoke? Because we did our last interview, I want to say in 2022.
hmm Yeah, it was
So
about
what all has
2022.
happened?
Um, I was in the midst of a relationship at the time, and I was holding on to it for reasons that I don't even know why. But what I found is it blocked me in so many ways, spiritually, creatively, emotionally. It drained me financially. So a lot of the goals and the things that I had set for myself previously, they just kind of dwindled into nothing. And
Yeah.
I took a very much needed break from performing and, being on the scene and things like that. And um, now I'm back. Now I'm back and I'm ready and I have a lot to say. I have a lot that I've learned about, fitting into spaces and understanding that just because I get negative vibes from people or negative energy, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have anything to do with me. It's more so people's own trauma and the things that they're dealing with. And because I know how I show up very respectful. I show up very considerate. I show up very thoughtful of others. And at times I feel like that has got me in trouble or I've been to a fault. But I'm still learning how to balance and manage those things while also uh, not allowing anything to stop me or hinder me from reaching my goals. Because at the end of the day, I've been put here for a reason. And that's just that. I know what it is that I'm here for. I know what my calling is, and nothing will get in the way of that.
Yes. And it's so good to see you in a different light. You've been transparent about that. I seen one of the lives and I dropped you some gems and I said,
Yeah.
forget about those who do not support you. I've realized that too, that as I grow with this platform and as I succeed, there's people that are going to leave that are not going to be there 100%. Those people are temporary. And the ones that are temporary, you have to let go. You have to let them go. They were there to serve their purpose, but the ones that are always going to be there are your day ones. Like I can give you an example. My girlfriend, my sister Felicia, she always comes in, she watches, she supports, and she was just texting me a few minutes ago. We was gonna talk on the phone. I'm still gonna call you, Leash. I'm still gonna call you so that we can catch up. But those are the people that you keep within your corner and in your circle. K Tooks is another one. Kenny is another one. Jay Evans is so many. Bubs the God is so many that have been in my corner backing me 100%. And those are the ones that you keep there with you that have been there from the
I
beginning. So for
agree.
you, So what changes have you brought about? Because you said you were going to go into your own thing with the 501c. I seen you talking about that and starting your own business. So give us an update on that before we get to the music, because I know you have new music out as well too.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. First of all, I want to say that I nowhere, no way in any shape or form identify as a victim. I know that everything that happened for me and not to me.
Right.
And I feel like I have a responsibility to take the things that I've been through and to learn how to help the next individual, because I know I'm not the only one going through. I know it's rough out here. And I feel like from my experiences and also with the knowledge and the tools that I'm in the process of gathering. I signed up for trainings for my organization already. One of the trainings is how to house and help individuals living with HIV. I have a training for that coming up pretty soon. And that's something I didn't mention in my previous videos, that I will have an area of my organization where we help people who live with HIV. I personally am a survivor of HIV. I've been living with HIV for 10 years. This is my 10-year
Wow.
anniversary. And I've been saying that I was going to come out about it, and, but it's just, it came out in the video. I actually, if I've already been putting it on my page and my profile on, like, dating sites and things like that, because I want to be open and transparent. And then I also realized how they have passed laws to criminalize HIV positive people. And I never want to be in a position where somebody didn't know, or they say I didn't tell them or anything like that. So I'm very open and transparent about that. Have been for the past 2 years, like openly in the public, not on my social media, but in other ways. But anybody who's ever wanted to have sex with me or be in a relationship with me, that was something that I told them. And before, it used to be something that was kind of hard for me to say, but it's been 10 years and I'm still here. I'm still grinding. I'm still going through whatever it is that I'm going through. I'm still pushing through. So it hasn't hindered me. If anything, I can take that experience as well and help the next individual get in contact with my youth and let them know to practice safer sex practices and things like that, and make sure to protect yourself. Make sure that you are taking care of your oral health. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're going to see that dentist. Make sure you're taking care of your gums and things like that. Those things are very important. But to answer your question about what I am doing now, I'll be returning back to college within the next week or so to get my degree in psychology. And I really feel like I'm going to go all the way to my doctorate because I would like to have my own practice one day. But in the process of doing that, I will be offering services through my nonprofit and just continuing the community work that I've already done. If anything, working for the organizations that I have within the last 2 years have helped me create framework and realize that what I was doing is community work. It was just in my own way. It was just independently. I used to look at these organization leaders and things like that and be like, oh my God, you're so amazing. You're so this, you're so that. But at the end of the day, we all can do it. If you have a calling, if you have something that it is that you are good at doing or helping others, then go ahead and go forth and create your own. And, do it with integrity. Do it, do it not with money in mind. Do it with wanting to help others. And that's where I've always come from. Irregardless to my experiences, whether I was high or low, I've always wanted to help people. Always. Since young. Even when I didn't have it to help, I wanted to help. You feel what I'm saying? So now I'm 31 years old, and I'm grateful to God that I have woken up and realized what it is that I'm here to do.
I appreciate you 100% for your transparency, because the first time we did our interview, it was a very sexy interview. You were very
I was in a different
transparent.
space, different
Yes,
headspace,
in a
different
different
energy around
mindset.
me.
But I never knew until you said it in your live. I said, wow, you never know a person's testimony unless you sit and you actually talk with them. And I'm going to go back for a second, because you said psychology. We need, in the LGBTQ plus community, mental health is a key thing. And so many people are struggling with accepting themselves, or having their families or loved ones accepting them within our community. So if you go and you open a practice that could help LGBT youth, that would be groundbreaking, because it's never really happened. And we do have others out here that do outreach, like my brother Kenny Stallings, KRS TV here on the gram. I know my mentor, Miss Melody, she does some things within her community. She's in the Atlanta area. Chad, shout outs to Chad and Bugs Gutter. I'm pretty sure you know Chad and Bugs Gutter. They do a lot. It's so many that I've interviewed that do outreach within their community, that are within the LGBTQ community, that are giving people information on staying safe. Yes, I am in tune with my sensuality, and you guys see that I'm a very sexual person. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm confident within that. But the key thing is we're about promoting safe sex here on my platform. And more importantly, educating LGBTU. So if you decide to go out and do this, and another thing I wanted to touch on, Levi, is, and I appreciate you for, is speaking up about it, because within our community is shunned upon. Oh, if you got this or if you got that, it's stigmatizing, and that is very, very
You know,
dangerous.
I've been.
And I see it on the Bigo app. I'm pretty sure you've seen clips of them doing status shaming and reads like that. It's just like, it's
Mhm.
disgusting. So what are your thoughts
I've
on
been in relationships where the person would get to a certain point of the argument and their defense will be, "Oh, you're sick," and that's what they would say to me. And at first, it used to hurt my feelings, and then I realized that listen, there's nothing that you can say to me that hasn't been said to me already. You know what I'm saying? And I
that?
realize how I feel every morning. I wake up every morning and I feel great. I feel amazing. And then a lot of people that are doing those things or saying those things, the HIV positive people are probably going to outlive them because they actually attend to their health. They actually care about their health. They actually have regular visits. One of the plights of black men is a lot of us don't want to go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling with that with my dad right now. You know, he wants to continue living the life that, you know, he's been living all of these years with the health issues that he's newly developed. But the doctor
Man.
is not something that people want to do. They want to put a Band-Aid on it or take some rubber tussin, you know, rub some, some hydroperoxide on it and you'll be all right. No, you need to go
Right.
get checked up. You need to go get screened. You know what I'm saying? You need to go do full panels because you can have other STDs that are not showing up, not showing symptoms. You're asymptomatic and you might be having sex with this person, that person, and you don't even know that you're harming all of these people. But we need to normalize people doing regular panels. We need to regularize people going to see their doctor on a regular basis. All of this is very important to the success and the thriving of our community. And I don't know what it would take, but I am hoping that I'm able to help people in a major way. And one thing I want to speak to about trauma and things like that is a lot of times we grow up in situations where we are ashamed for our sexuality. And then we come into a community that is not necessarily full of love. It's a lot of shade thrown. It's a lot of
Man.
hate. It's a lot of jealousy. But that's all tied back and related to the trauma that was within our upbringing. So if you went from this your family that shamed you, and then you go into what people where you think they're your friends or groups where you think that you should be accepted, and they also give you hate. They also cause trauma on you. Where do you go for healing? And if you don't have anybody around you that is concerned with healing, when do you heal? And that's why we have a lot of 40, 50, and 60-year-olds that are stuck in the cycle. They are stuck in the cycle, and I realize that maturity and growth does not come with age. It does not come with age. It comes when the person is ready. I personally, the reason why I feel like I've grown because I've been through enough traumatic experiences where I realized I need to do something different. I need to stop trying to fit into these spaces that are not for me. And it's time for me to create my own space. And that's another problem because, you know, when you've been shamed by your family and things like that, then you start yearning validity. Then you start yearning acceptance and things like that. And you can go to the very much so the wrong places and end up in situations that are not great for you. So my goal is to help our community in that light because some people are traumatized and they have pain and they don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
And I love what else you just said also too, is that when it comes to black men, we're seeing more and more, and you're one of the few black men that I've interviewed that have been transparent about their health and going to the doctor, because that is a thing within our community. Growing up in our household, black men, our fathers predominantly, would see if they notice something or see something, they'd be scared to go to the doctor. It's just like, okay, no, I'm just going to take some Robitussin and I'm going to walk it off. But I had one guest in particular of mine, his name is Sharon Lee. He's an actor. And he opened up about black men going to the doctor. The same thing you're saying, he said also as well too when we did our interview. And that is more and more black men need to get in touch with mental health and taking care of their health so that you can be around for your families, your wives, your daughters, your sons, your children, just in general, and being safe within yourself. That's something that he spoke about as well too, because it is a thing where it's just like we're strong enough than we think we are, but no, you need to go to the doctor to get checked out. You need to know exactly. So taking care of self and self-care is mainly number one thing in order to have a long, healthy life.
Mhm. I agree. I agree with you 1000%. And I know it's because men, black men, we've been taught to be tough, and we've been taught to, oh, you get a cut, you get a gash or a wound, oh, get up, you tough, you all right. You know what I'm saying? But we have to
Exactly.
unlearn some of that and really start catering to ourselves. So when I do see black men dedicating time to self-love and dedicating time to self-care, I love it. I love some of the new wave of black men that I'm seeing on social media or even in person that are okay with meditating, okay with lighting some sage, okay with having a glass of wine and lighting the incense and diffusing, because you don't always have to be on go. Sometimes you have to take time for you.
Yes. And that's something that I preach about a lot here on the platform is self-care and making sure that you take care of yourself. And that's something that you post a lot about on your platform as well as self-care. You do the stones, you do the gym, you do your music. So you have different elements of you, which brings me to the next part, this new look. Because the last time you were here, you had short hair. You had a fade, I think, and then your aesthetic was different.
Yeah.
So what part about this new look? Because I love it, and I'm pretty sure the audience wants to know too.
Um, Actually, before I started to work for my last nonprofit, I applied for the job, and I thank God for my best friend because during those last days of that relationship, she actually really helped me come back to my normal self.
Mm.
I will go back a little bit. In high school, I was very comfortable with my femininity. My favorite rapper was Little Kim, so I used to take magazines to the school, and I remember one time I had super glued rhinestones to my eyes to look like Little Kim, and I would wear makeup and lip gloss, and I was just, I had it going on. But then, my dad ended up finding out because I would always take the makeup off on the way home, and because I didn't want to get caught up, I didn't want anybody to, find out what I was
Right,
doing. But I was 100% myself and exploring femininity and things like that when I was at school, and they knew me as Skittles back then. But what happened was I went to college. I ended up being in a relationship with somebody who was DL. So before I could even like really find my footing in college, I was already being told like, oh, you need to simmer down and things like that. And this is a relationship that I thought that was going to be forever and I wanted to keep. So a lot of the things and the freedoms that I had established for myself, I, reverted them. And I became more of a, masculine appearing man and not really exploring them within my creativity because me exploring within my feminine and masculine energy, it's just a part of my creativity because some days you might see me with a grill. Some days, one day I might cut my hair off and have a fade again. But it's just about where my creativity and how I'm feeling because we all are a perfect balance of masculine and
yes,
feminine, yin and yang. But men, we've been taught not to embrace our feminine qualities and to just be macho man all the time. And I can give that, but that's not all that I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm so
right,
much more than that. So through working for that organization, knowing that I was going to be working for a trans and non-gender conforming organization, I said, you know what? I'm going to go get me a lace front. I'm going to do something that I've always wanted to do. And I started off with a short curly wig. And then I worked my way through. I just, I kept, it became an addiction after a while. I kept buying them, and then I saw I don't know if I should say, even in within the workplace, I started seeing eyebrows and I started seeing and stuff like that. So that like that lit a fire beneath me because I'm like, oh, you have a problem with it? Oh, now I'm definitely finna show out. Now I'm definitely finna go at it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'm not doing this to be accepted by y'all. I'm not doing this to try to make
right.
fun of femininity or anything like that. I've always had the desire and the wish to express both masculine and feminine energy, but I've never been comfortable enough to do so. So I got to a point where I knew that I was working in a space where it was accepted. I had beautiful conversations with my best friend just about every day, and she was like, "Yeah, you need to go back to who you was," and I remember, and da 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 da. So just having that support system and having certain individuals around you that actually know who you truly and authentically are, because this world can take you so far away from who you actually are if you allow it to. That's what brought about the change. That's what brought about the change. It's a lot of things that I'm about to say and I'm about to do that I've always been afraid to. But at the end of the day, I'm not all sage and flowers and peaches and cream. I have sex. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced shade. I've been through things. So it's like, I'm going to get this next project, I'm going to give people a full spectrum of who I am and my experiences, the things that I've been through. And one of the things that I'm really going to focus on and attack, if you will, is the misogynistic views against women as well as LGBTQ individuals. The reason why there is things like bottom shaming, the reason why it is things like femme shaming, the reason why those things exist, and it's all because of toxic masculinity. We're listening to the male say, "Oh, you gotta be like this, you gotta go like this. That dress is too skimpy, or that hair color is too ghetto," and stuff like that. It's not about you. It's about our expression. It's about our freedom and what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Rather it's women, rather it's non-binary individuals, rather it's LGBTQ individuals. Listening to others will take you so far off your path. And it's not about what other people like. If they don't like it, find somebody new. What I found is when you lose one job, you're going to find another. You might lose an apartment, you're going to get another. You might lose one man, you're going to get another. Trust me. It's too many good men out here that will treat you like gold for you to be holding on to something that's not serving you. Jobs too.
Yes, and I love everything you just said. I was watching P.S. Madison. Everybody's talking about Renaissance. She went to the Beyonce
Yes.
tour, and of course she's on Cozy. She was talking about how she started off working at Track Phone. You guys remember the Track Phone company back in the
Yeah.
day, and how popular it was. And she was saying that the people that worked with her at the Track Phone store were giving her a hard time, and how she had to conform to fit in, tone down. She said she had to wear dress pants. But then at night she could be her regular self. And then they had a Halloween party, and how she just came as
Have a
herself, her
full
regular
self.
self, showed up as woman. And the LGBTQ community, for years, we have been told that we have to conform. And that is in the result of toxic masculinity and the effect. Now, there have been so many artists that have coming out now embracing their feminine side and sensuality. I'm pretty sure you've seen those stories with Will.i.am saying, "Hey, this is who I am. That was me in the Black Eyed Peas, but this is me now."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we know, congrats to Wayne Brady, who came out as Pan. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's beautiful because for years, actually,
Yeah.
back in 2016, 2017, I think the only example I had back then was watching Todrick Hall on tour, filling spaces and being as feminine and as loud and as colorful as he wanted to be. And I remember I had someone that I thought was a mentor or something like that, and I told them, I said, "Hey, this is what I want to do." And he said, "You're crazy." You know what I'm saying? And back then, at that time, it did sound crazy, but now we got LGBTQ individuals #1 on the Billboard, selling millions of records, filling concert halls and filling huge spaces. So it's like, was I crazy or was I ahead of my time? I think it was more so I was ahead of my time. But now is the time. So why not be 100% and authentically yourself? There's so many people. I think one artist that we have here locally, 7D, he's great. You know what I'm saying? And he completely operates in everything that he is. Little Nas X. Who else do we have? Sam Smith.
Yeah.
I love the way Janelle Monáe has developed and her coming out and talking about her being a lot more comfortable embracing her sexual side, because before she was told, "Don't do that. That's not for you. You have to be the example for all Black women." And fuck that. It's not
Right. Not
about
even
that. It's
anymore.
not about that. And I felt like I had to be the example for everyone within the community, and I had to keep it positive and keep it PG-13. But you know that only gets you so far because people can look at you and say, "I know you got other sides to you. Are you trying to hide something?" And no, I'm not trying to hide anything. I was just trying to be an example. But being an example, you have to be 100% authentic with yourself all the way around. Have your spurts of positivity. Have your positive message within the project, but also be real about the other things that you have going on. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this. I do notice the influx. 10 years ago when I was on the dating scene, I never heard of ice cream, ice, Tina Pipes, and things like that. But now that I'm back on the scene, I realize that I see it a lot. It's very prevalent. So another thing that my organization and even within my music I will be talking about is harm reduction tactics, because I realize that drug can I feel like it's very dangerous because it's not your typical drug that can really take over and ruin your life. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if you're in spaces and places where you're doing it every day and things like that. So one of my biggest goals is to infuse harm reduction tactics or find out ways that we can help people recover quicker or, abstain from it altogether. I feel like that's one thing that is very important to me.
And we need all of this information within our community because there's so many things, I mean,
That's
going
not
on.
that's not the
And
only drug. It's other drugs too that are really prevalent that I see a lot. And it's like, I feel for my community because I feel like maybe my eyes wasn't open, maybe I wasn't, I didn't notice or I didn't know. But I feel like 10 years ago that was not the case. And I feel like it's becoming more prevalent these days, especially here in Houston. So there's something that needs to be done.
yes, and awareness is key. So with platforms like ours, we're bringing awareness to it because I was unaware about it myself. And just watching, I watch so many platforms that are based on us in the LGBT community to the point where they talk about community outreach and protecting yourself, having safe sex, that we're not aware also of the drug usage out here in our community that is going on as well too. So we
Yeah.
have to make sure that we're staying on top
Mhm.
of that. So you've mentioned some of the artists, Lil Nas X, gearing into our next phase of the interview, the music, because you gave us a video for Island Boy,
I
which
did.
is your newest single out. And I said, wait, because I went back and I watched our previous interview and I said, he has so many facets to him. It's like peeling an onion and you see all of the layers. And we're seeing all of the layers in you, like it's a glow about you, something different. Whereas before, when we did our interview, I didn't see that side. Whereas now I'm seeing all of the facets of you. So, what brought about the visuals for Island Boy, and did you come up? How did you come up with the concept for it?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. So I actually wrote that song when I just got back from the Bahamas. It was part of a package of songs that I created. And, I had wanted me an Island Boy. And the Island Boy was looking good to me. And so I had wrote that song back then, but I had just released a project called Leviism Volume 1, Heal. And I was talking about healing. And my next project after that, Euphoria, was a bit edgier, some cussing on there, but it still was a consistent message of positivity. So I was not comfortable enough at that time to release that song because I had not really explored my sexual prowess on the track or to the public like that. And then also me thinking, oh, I'm HIV positive and you know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, I'm getting to that phase in that time in my life where it's like, I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? HIV positive people have sex as well, have good sex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all about keeping the status neutral, keeping status neutrality at play. Rather that's condoms, rather that's PrEP, rather that's taking your medicine every day so you're undetectable. Now moving on to how I came up with the concept. Oh my God! Actually, I had just gotten to one of the final disagreements with the person that I was with, and they were a bit violent with me, and so I left. and I had already had the plan that I was meeting up with two good friends of mine, and we was going to go shoot some footage. And I had all my wigs in my suitcase and everything. And I was like, I had so much energy from, you know, the situation that just happened. And I became an alchemist, and I took it and I converted it into my creativity. And I just got out there, and they kind of helped and assisted me. But I was like, okay, I already had the curly one on. So I was like, let me take my twist down so I can have big curly hair. And, you know, I've always loved to swing my hair when I had it and things like that. Even back in like 2015, when I had like a natural curly afro, I would be on stage rocking it out, you know, when I was more in my masculine days. But you know, one of my biggest inspirations is Beyonce. So, you know, she know a good thing about hairography or hair choreography. So she gonna swing that mug and it's gonna. So I was really channeling my inner Beyonce, if you will. If you see me a lot with the hair swings and things like that, I was channeling my feminine energy to a certain extent on half of the video. But then I thought it was important. I felt like it was important for me to display my masculine energy as well, because I'm a perfect balance of both. You know, I enjoy showing up in my Jordans and, you know, my jersey and shit like that. And then I enjoy also putting on some sparkly clothes and looking cute. You know, I love it both. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was important within this song that is speaking to sexuality and sexual prowess for me to exhibit both my masculine and feminine, because you will be surprised. There's a lot of feminine people, a lot of drag queens that are tops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get it confused. Just because they're feminine, just because they wear wigs, just because this and that, don't mean they ain't a top. Don't mean they not versed. But that's been something that's been programmed into people's minds to automatically think. So,
Right.
so part of that is breaking that barrier, breaking that mental barrier, and it's not always what you think. It's not always what you think.
Again, more layers to what people think. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't judge a book by its
Don't
cover
judge a book by its
automatically
cover.
within our community. And what else can we expect from this new project? Because it's like a whole new different you. I'm looking at you right now and I see a glow. I see happiness. Whereas before you were kind of you were still sexy, but before you were just in that shell and it was just like,
I was
but
Cajun.
now it's just
I
like
was
I'm
Cajun. I ain't
free.
gonna lie.
Yes,
I felt trapped. I felt Cajun. But only person that was allowing that was me, because this is my life, and I have choices to make. You know, I've always had choices to
right,
make, but now I'm making the right choice, and you are gonna get everything. You are gonna get all of me. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be at times raw. It's gonna be authentic. It's gonna be all of that, and I'm not holding back. You know what I'm saying? I'm human just like the rest of us. And I know when it's time to turn up and to, you know, be active, and I also know when it's time to be reserved and to refill my cup and things like that. So you're gonna get every side of this Pisces. You're gonna get both sides of both fish going in both directions. You're gonna get all of it.
what is next in the future for Levi? Because the year is almost out. There's a whole new you. And I'm so happy to see that you are now in touch with this new version of you, because I tap into it all the time of reinventing myself. And I see it's like you reinvent yourself, you're in a happier place and you just let go and come out of the box and just fully embrace your femininity. Of course, the sex appeal is still there. What is next for Levi
I
for 2024?
So actually, later on this week on Friday, I will be flying out to Nashville to perform for the Gilead anniversary, which I am so excited because Gilead has, you know, done a lot of work within HIV medicine and things like that. So for me to be in that space and be able to give them entertainment for the night, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So that's immediately what's coming up. Beyond that, it'll be a lot of recording sessions. There'll be a lot more music coming. You'll get a professional. My plans is to have a professional video released for Island Boy, because that was a lyric video, you know, where we was outside, you know. But I do want to do like a studio one where I may be in the all red or all pink room and, you know, giving sexy vibes and stuff like that. That's my plan for that, and just more visuals, more building out my 501c3 and giving the people what they need. You know what I'm saying? And more healing, better crystal creations. Now that I have the focus and the energy, and I don't have to split my time in
Yeah.
half, it's just everything is going to be poured into me and poured into my community and the ways that I can help them. So everything is just going to get better. Everything's just going to be improved. You're going to see an all-around facelift in every area. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's next for me. And you can expect the project, I'm thinking fourth quarter of this year, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it before the year is out, but we will see. I'm a slow cook that day because it's been slow cooking all these years, but now it's like it's something new that I have to add to the flavor, and I
Yeah.
don't want to rush that process.
So you guys just have to stay tuned. And where can everyone check out your performance in Nashville?
Um, I'm going to take some cameras down there so I can film. So I will be posting them here on Instagram, and I'm putting together a beautiful, amazing, inspirational set list for the people that I'll be able to perform in front of. Also, my YouTube, Levi V Gray. You can find me on all streaming platforms, Levi V Gray, Thee. I have maybe 4 or 5 projects on there. You can start from Sage. That was the first project, and you can go all the way up until now, and it's much more where that came from, and it's going to be freer, it's going to be greater, it's going to be bigger, and I'm just excited. I'm so happy. I'm grateful to God for my gifts and where I am in
Yeah.
my journey.
I'm so proud of you and happy for you. So we're going to keep encouraging you and keep in touch. And this business is going to be a success. So please keep us
Absolutely.
posted. And I'll connect you with my brother Kenny so that you
Please.
guys can link up because you
Yes.
both do outreach
Yes,
as
and I
well.
need, and I'm sure they have trainings and things that I can find beneficial. I need all the trainings. I need everything so I can be the best that I can be. So thank you so much for that.
You are so welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Levi the Great, and let everyone know where they can follow you and check you out. And the lyric video for this song, Island Boy.
Singing X Swangin' on TikTok, on Instagram, Singing X Swangin' or Levi the Great on YouTube.
All right, fashion dolls, it is time for our girl talk with the beautiful Brenda Chanel from Pandora's Box. Levi, it is so great catching up with you. We didn't get it right at first because the time threw off, but it blended in
I love
perfectly.
it. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got a chance to talk with you today.
You
And I'll talk to you soon.
too. Take
Bye.
care.